so we are going to first start with the front sweater. I'm just showing you what it's going to look like. I made the back, and this is what the back looks like. We're going to start from the bottom, and we're going to use our smaller needles to do the rib stitching. I'm using size US 4 3.5 millimeter needles, and we cast on 93 stitches. We are going to do the ribbing, knit 1, purl 1 for 7 rows. Let's get started. So what you do is you get your needles, and you can use straight needles if you want, but I love my circular needles. I use them for everything. With your yarn, if you have a really long tail at the end of casting on, then don't worry about it. Just leave it like that, because then you can use it to sew the sides of your sweater. To cast on, you put your thumb and index finger in between the yarn. You twist it, and then you grab the yarn that's underneath and you pull. Now we just tighten it on our needle. Then to cast on, this is how I hold my yarn. I put my thumb and index finger again in between the 2 strands of yarn, and then I hold the ends with the rest of my fingers, okay? And I just kind of pull them apart. And then I bring my needle over here, go under, pick up that strand, go over in between both of those, and then you tighten it. And do it again. And so that gives you 2. And then now we have 3. Okay, also, you want to cast on loosely. This is actually probably too tight. So just kind of cast on loose. So you want it to stretch out. This is me casting on loose now. And you try to make it the same tension all together. I am making the large size. For the large version, you're going to cast on 93 stitches. If you want the other sizes, then click the link that's in the description bar, and it will take you to the pattern that has the other sizes. And you can still follow along with this pattern. So I just finished casting on 93 stitches. Row 1 is the wrong side. You know that because you see all these bumps. And then these are flat. So wrong side row, we are going to have purls at the end of both sides. When we purl, we have our needle going from the back to the front. And then we grab our yarn. This is how I grab my yarn. And some people like to hold it with their left hand, and that's fine. It's the continental knitting. And then you bring your yarn around like that. And then pull it off. So that's a purl. And then we're going to purl our next stitch, and this will be knitted on the back side, the right side. So let's purl. And then we're going to knit. And we're going to be doing this loosely. The whole pattern we are going to be knitting a little bit looser than you normally do. So let's purl again. Our yarn's in the front, bring it over. And then to knit, our yarn will be in the back. You go from the front to the back. Bring our yarn around like this. Now our yarn's in the front. We go from the back to the front. Okay, to knit, yarn's in the back. We go from the front to the back. Bring our yarn over, just like we do with purl. Okay. And I will show you what you do at the very end. Okay, last 3 stitches, we just did purl, see my knit, and then that's a purl with the bump, so bump, and then the V is a knit, purl. We know that we're going to be knitting, so the front to the back. And last 2 stitches. Okay, now we turn our work over. We grab our needle, and then now we're on the right side for row 2. So the even rows for our rib stitch will be on the right side. We're going to knit, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, all the way to the end of the row, and it'll be purl, knit, knit. So let's start this row. It's a knit, our yarn's in the back, we go from the front to the back, bring our yarn over, and with my first stitch on every row, I kind of knit it the tightest. And then the rest of them, this is another knit, I do it looser. Okay, and you just purl, knit. The last 2 stitches are knit, knit. Alright, so keep doing this all the way. You'll end at row 7, which will be a wrong side row, and we will begin our body for row 8. Alright, so we are done with our ribbing. We are now at row 8. So now that we're doing the body, we are going to start with row 1. So forget row 8, let's just start row 1. We are going to change to our larger size needles. So this is what I do. I grab my other needles, size 10.5 or 6.5 millimeters. And for our row 1, which is the right side, we're going to knit across. We are going to use the smaller needles for our left needle, and our right needle will be our larger size. And then you just knit it. And we're doing this loose again. We bind off loose, we knit loose, purl loose, all loose. All the way to the end. Okay, so now we can use both of the bigger size needles. Now we're on row 2, which is the wrong side, and we purl all of the stitches. And remember that my first stitch is always the tightest. Then after that, we're going to knit loosely. So our yarn's in the front, right here. Go from the back to the front. All the way across. Alright, so now you're going to repeat rows 1 and 2 until you get to row 50. And then row 51 is when we are going to start doing the V-neck. We made it to row 51, yay! So I just knitted until we get to the middle, right? Because that's where we're going to start our V-neck. So I have knitted 45 stitches, and now I'm on my 46th and 47th, and this is where we're going to knit 2 together. So you get both stitches, right? They're together. So we go into the first one, you go through the second one and the first one, like that. And then you knit them. So now we have 46 stitches on our right needle, and we have 46 stitches on our left needle. So knit all the way to the end, and then when you get on row 52, at the end of row 52, this is my row 52, the end of it. Do you see the 2 stitches right there? We're gonna leave them on our left needle. This is going to be the right side. We're done with these stitches for now, and if you want, you can put them on a stitch holder or just on another needle. I'm gonna try to just leave them on my needle and see what happens. But okay, so now this is our row 53. I will meet you at row 55, where we're going to do our first decrease. So we did our knit two together, right? And then we're going to be working on our left side, and we're going to do the slip slip knit, and we're going to decrease by slip slip knit 6 times. Now for row 55 is our first increase. So what we're going to do is knit our first stitch, and then we're going to do our decrease, which is a slip slip knit. For our left side, we're going to slip, slip, and then go through both of those stitches from the back to the front, and then knit. And that was our first decrease. So on this left side, that's how we're going to do the increase. Do your slip, slip, and then you knit from the back to the front. There you go. So decrease on these rows. Okay, so now we're on row 78, and we're going to start binding off so that we can have a shoulder part.